Professional wrestling is the one true sport. Other sports have their share of intense, dramatic moments, but nothing can compare with professional wrestling. Welcome to Wrestling History X, where three friends come together to talk about the stories behind the matches. I'm Matt.
I'm a 2-year-old with poop in his pants.
Damn. Clean up on aisle 2.
Since he's having a tough day.
And Shane's not here still.
In spirit. He's here in spirit.
He's in spirit. But some asshole decided to run into the back of his car, so...
Yeah.
It was a trip that he could not make.
He's totally safely fine, but, you got to get that bumper fixed before, you can't just drive down the highway and let it rip off.
Welcome to episode 342, WWF Monday Night RAW.
How raw will it be?
I mean, we got told what happened in the main event last week. So.
Yeah, we did. So, needless to say... I'm excited. I don't remember how it happened while I was watching it. I just remember how excited I was as a kid when I watched it. But I don't remember, I didn't remember how it all went down, so it'll be fun to relive that.
This is the 293rd episode of Raw, produced by WWF. It would take place on December 29th, 1998, but would air on January 4th, 1999.
Is this the first time we've done 3 January 4th shows in a row?
Yes.
Pretty crazy.
We've done the same date a couple times.
For Raw
twice,
Nitro stuff, yeah.
Or like an ECW show and a WCW show happening at the same time or whatever. But first time 3 shows, all on January 4th.
It's a turkey.
And we're coming from the Worcester Centrum in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Worcester. My aunt would be so mad with you.
I was like,
it's fine.
I knew I was going to say it wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody says it right unless they live there or they're from Massachusetts.
And there was an attendance of 10,668 with a TV rating of 5.7, which was obviously helped by the 600,000 people who switched from Nitro after Shivani mentioned the winner of our main event.
I mean, why wouldn't they? Because if you remember... something important happens at the end of that show, even though we think by and large it was very stupid. Finger poke of doom, of course. But the card leading up to that is useless garbage.
Yes.
So here on, it's like if this is what you're giving us and then you're telling us that something actually interesting is going to happen on the other. Not that what happened at the end of WCW wasn't interesting.
True.
Interesting, but not for a positive reason.
Correct.
Yeah, whereas WWF... it's kind of everybody's favorite underdog taking the big boy belt at a time where Stone Cold Steve Austin is the biggest star in all of wrestling.
And if you do want to watch along with this one, it is on Netflix for you to catch there. But even though Shane's not here, the culinary trip around the world doesn't stop. We've started this train ride. And
Matt won't derail the ship. The train,
the caboose,
the slot car.
Yeah, we're still throwing wood on the pile.
Yeah, there you go.
So we're in Worcester.
You don't even say the O. It's almost like whoa.
Worcester.
Worcester. There's no Ric Flair on this show.
We're in Massachusetts, guys.
Yeah, it's fine.
But this has nothing to do with Massachusetts. But it is inspired by Mick Foley. So I went out there and I was looking for different things, and I searched Mick Foley's favorite meal. And I don't actually know if this is his favorite meal.
Or if he even knows that this was published about him.
Yeah. But there was a WWE cookbook that was released probably, we're going to say early 2000s, most likely. And inside was Mick Foley's knuckle sandwiches.
Yeah, clever.
So we put knuckles inside pieces of bread.
A sock full of sandwich.
But what a knuckle sandwich is, it's deviled ham,
Yep.
celery,
Mm-hmm.
dill pickles, mayo. So it basically becomes kind of a ham salad.
Yeah.
You then put it between some white bread and rye bread. So you have two different kinds of bread. And I didn't have white bread on me. I had some potato bread. It's still two different kinds of bread.
Yeah, and you got the rye, which is obviously the more flavorful one anyway.
Exactly. And then after you got it all put together, you smear some whipped cream cheese on top of it.
Still don't understand why it couldn't be inside the sandwich.
It literally could be.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it's on the outside either.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've ever had a chicken salad sandwich, you kind of have an idea of what this tastes like. Except for that's ham.
Yeah, ham salad is the lesser of the three major salads. Or I guess four. There's chicken salad, tuna salad, egg salad, ham salad. Not in any order, but we all know ham salad is last.
Well, let's just say that when I went to find deviled ham, there's all kinds of chicken salad.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of tuna. And then there's like this one small little can of deviled ham.
Yeah. I think of deviled ham, I think of like liverwurst, and then that makes me think of like grandma. Because my
There
grandma...
was more liverwurst in
Yeah.
a can
Yeah.
than there was ham.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it comes in a tube. Maybe you were in the wrong section.
You're making it into a... Because you can literally make deviled ham by just throwing some ham bits, some Dijon mustard, some celery salt and pepper,
Yeah.
those kind of things. Throw it in a blender, blend it all up. You're basically just trying to make a paste.
Yeah. You're just turning ham into pate.
Yeah. But I was scared. Like,
It's an ugly sandwich.
it's a very ugly sandwich. Like, there's nothing pretty about it.
No, it's quite sad looking.
But I don't think it's not the worst thing we've ever had.
No. Bullshot probably still.
I mean, that's still the leader, yes. But, I mean...
Would you make it again?
I still have some leftover ham salad. And...
To be not wasteful, maybe you'll use it?
I might go ahead and use it to eat lunch later this week. Because I'm not hating this.
Yeah. I think... Yeah, my thought was, oh, this is like a trailer park, like, Cuban.
Mm-hmm.
But, like I said, yeah, it's not terrible, but it's not delicious.
Yeah.
It's acceptable. Just fine.
If I had these ingredients and I needed to make something to sustain myself.
If it was a snowstorm and you couldn't get out of the house, you might make this eventually.
Nailed it on the head right there. But something that would happen right around the same time as this Raw. Jon Stewart would take over The Daily Show from Craig Kilborn the very next week. Were you ever a Daily Show guy?
No. I think I've always been pretty detached and uninterested in the news, which might make me a bad American, but at least I'm not an angry one. I mean, I caught parts of it and stuff, but I was also, this probably happens for most people, only became more intelligent with age. As a kid, if I was watching Comedy Central, I was trying to watch South Park or Strangers with Candy or stand-up and the political stuff. Like, as a kid, the closest to this I enjoyed was I really liked Colin Quinn on Saturday Night Live as a kid, but that was like my age of watching SNL, like.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Jon Stewart got a little bit more into the minutia. I do think he's funny. I like him. Craig Kilborn, I didn't even realize that he had the Daily Show before this.
Yeah, he was actually the first host.
But this was what blew it up.
Yeah, when Jon Stewart took over, it was because
it became a huge thing.
Kilborn was only on the show for like a couple years.
Yeah.
And then Stewart was literally on until 2015.
Yeah, he blew this thing up, and then also Not to say that it was a good thing, because it was obviously a very bad thing, but he quickly had the news benefit of 9/11 and the fallout after.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, well, this guy can talk about where are the weapons of mass destruction for 8 years, as well as plenty of other things. Didn't he just start doing this again?
Yeah, Noah left in 22, and they just had some rotating hosts there for a little while. But Jon Stewart was doing the Monday night show starting in early 24, and I think that's the only one he still does, but he may do more than just the Monday.
Well, who
show.
was in between him and Trevor Noah? Was it all? Who's that guy? Who's that other guy people like?
Noah was the next permanent host
okay.
after Jon Stewart.
Who's John Oliver?
Yeah, John Oliver did some. I'm trying to think of who else was. I'm thinking Roy Wood possibly was one of the rotating hosts that they had.
I enjoyed some of the Colbert Report, but to me, I always kind of just liked him earlier in his career as a comedic actor. I loved him as the history teacher on the aforementioned Strangers with Candy. So yeah, he obviously got much less funny. I guess it's harder to be funny when you're on a late night show, or like a network talk show. But none of those are good, and basically they're all canceled at this point.
Yeah, people like, let's see here, Al Franken, Wanda Sykes, Leslie Jones, Sarah Silverman, Chelsea Handler, John Leguizamo.
They just had anybody that was willing to do it.
Yeah, I mean, they just had a whole bunch of different people. And then...
Were you a big Daily Show guy?
I am not a Daily Show guy after Jon Stewart started. I'm not a Jon Stewart guy. I see clips of him now, and I'm fine with him, but I was never a Jon Stewart. I was a big Craig Kilborn guy because I watched him when he was on SportsCenter, and then he took over Daily Show, and so I didn't watch it religiously or anything like that.
Yeah, but if it was on, you'd leave it on.
But I'd watch it, and then I literally followed Kilborn to the Late Late Show and watch that. So I've always been a big fan of Kilborn. I'm kind of like you. I don't really care enough about the news to I mean,
yeah.
I would get.
I hear about the big stuff and I go, oh, that's a bummer, and I keep it moving.
I basically I get my news usually from watching either SNL or there was a show that just, I guess middle of 2025, left the air, which was After Midnight. It was the show that came on after Colbert Report.
Yeah, it's isn't that like a game show kind
of? It was a game show, with comedians.
Yeah.
Which there was an older version that was on Comedy Central, and I watched it all the time. I can say that I've watched every episode of After Midnight.
That's
in
wild.
Both renditions. And so a lot of the news that I would get would sometimes be
just referential
stuff like that. Literally, my wife's telling me about the flotilla in Israel, and I'm just like, no clue what you're talking about. And from the face that you're giving me, you have no clue either.
I know they've been up to no good, but I don't know what the flotilla means.
Yeah. There's a bunch of boats trying to deliver aid to...
Oh, yeah. I gotcha. Yeah. I know about all that. I didn't know that it was boats, and I didn't know that there was a name for it. But there's a few words for it, but we'll refrain from using them.
But Jon Stewart's back on the show now, so if you like Jon Stewart, you could always go and watch The Daily Show.
If you like Jon Stewart, you already know.
Exactly.
He definitely has, or at least had a diehard fan base for quite a while. Same with Colbert, even Oliver, or even Trevor Noah.
You don't stay on the air for 15 years without having some kind of fan base.
No, I typically like my humor to be trash. Big dick and fart joke guy over here. I enjoy intelligent comedy as well, but we don't need to riff on everything.
Well, let's talk some Monday Night Raw. So the recording, obviously, like I said earlier, the show is on Netflix, but Michael doesn't have Netflix.
Because they don't put out anything good.
So, search the high seas to find a copy of
I wished I had Netflix because the copy you gave me looked worse than just about any ECW show we've watched. Yeah, it was so bad.
It was a really bad recording.
Very degraded.
But it also cuts off the very first 3 minutes of the show.
Yeah. And then I realized afterwards that somebody's Netflix is still signed into my TV, and I was like, well, I'm not, yeah. I'm already, it's I already did it. I'm not going back.
So what happened on the show before our recording started is basically a recap of Mr. McMahon firing Shawn Michaels the previous week. Shane had handled Raw while Vince was out training for the Rumble, booking himself in a match versus Mankind, where he would get the crap beat out of him. So the corporation sought to help, only for the Heartbreak Kid to hold them back. So Shane got a beating.
I mean, he's a snot-nosed little punk. What do you expect?
That recap would lead into a retrospective about the Heartbreak Kid's career, but Vince has had enough of that, ordering the truck to stop the video. The corporation would then make their way to the ring, where the Stooges tape a Brisco Brothers body shop sign to Kane's back, followed by McMahon telling everyone to not hold their breath, as Michaels isn't brave enough to show up as promised, because he will be dismembered if he does.
Bum, bum, bum.
And then that's when our video starts. And Mr. McMahon has the mic, and he's saying that anyone who had anything to do with Shane's emotional scarring will pay, punished by Vince himself. So let that be a warning. We then see Shawn entering the arena on the Titantron. McMahon sees this, and he tells the corporation to break his bones. And HBK makes his way out to the rampway with a mic to say the sheriff is back in town, bringing the cavalry with him when DX joins him on the stage. Shawn then informs Mr. McMahon that his commissioner contract is ironclad, that he didn't have to answer to anyone, so Vince can't fire him. And the only way Michaels will leave is if he resigns, and that's not happening, followed by fulfilling McMahon's wish to be number 2 in the Royal Rumble. And they even show the footage from the episode of Raw where the numbers were drawn, and it shows Vince going, "Man, I wish I was number 2."
Yeah.
And then Shawn says that will give Austin all night long to open a can of whoop-ass on Vince. Shawn also says he has a surprise for Mr. McMahon tonight, guaranteeing that it will drive Vince stone cold crazy.
Hint, hint.
Before HBK and DX exit to the back.
No suck it?
No.
Nope. You can't do it all.
Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler then welcome us to the show, going over some of the matches we see tonight when we go to commercial. Only for us to come back to our first match. Ken Shamrock versus Steve Blackman.
How many times?
I don't know how many times we've seen this.
Hey, I'm just happy to see Ken.
But there is a story behind this match. Steve had continued his quest to expose the Blue Blazer, as after revealing Owen Hart, it was claimed that the footage was doctored. So Blackman unmasked the Blazer the next time they wrestled, only for it to be Jeff Jarrett.
At least him and Owen are of similar sizes.
Dan Severn is also back, distracting Owen to cost him a match, while Shamrock was pinned by Billy Gunn during a match, only for Shane McMahon to declare it was a non-title match. So Mr. Ass is now after Ken's Intercontinental title. So our two competitors exchange strikes to start when Severn arrives, but Shamrock doesn't notice him, just continuing the attack with a power slam, a snap suplex, and a knee lift, only for Blackman to answer back with an inside cradle for a 2 count. Ken recovers to nail a clothesline and spots Dan on the outside, asking him why he's there, allowing Steve to deliver a dropkick and a backbreaker to his opponent. Shamrock fights back with a belly-to-belly suplex, yells at Severn again, so Dan climbs to the apron, only to get decked by Ken, causing the ref to check on Severn. And this opening brings Billy Gunn running out to hit a not-so-famouser, with Blackman making the cover for the pin and the win. Post-match, Shamrock glares at Dan for a moment, then runs off after Mr. Ass as we go to break.
Yep, we all know what happened here. Pushing it forward. 2 for 1.
All kinds of storylines there.
Yep.
We come back to Gunn and Ken brawling backstage until officials separate them. Mankind then makes his way to the ring, with the announcer saying he's not scheduled for a match, followed by showing footage of the beatdown he gave Shane a couple weeks ago, including Mr. Jocko on Pat Patterson. Foley takes the mic to say he's learnt a bit about himself. That was the first time he ever grabbed another man's testicles, but he enjoyed it in a rugged way. He continues that it was also the first time he told someone to suck it without saying please. And he just found he has a new favorite hobby: kicking the McMahon family's ass. Mankind then demands Mr. McMahon come out, as he needs a favor from Vince. He wants a title shot at the Royal Rumble. And McMahon makes his way out to say the request stains the WWF's name, reminding Foley he blew all his other chances. And then he put his hands on his son. So Vince is amazed that Mankind even has the guts to ask for more. And Mr. McMahon does decide to be benevolent, giving Foley an opportunity to enter the Rumble. All he has to do is defeat Triple H tonight, with Shane McMahon as the referee.
It's not very fair, but we're talking about Vince McMahon. Yeah. Has he ever been fair? Can you get as successful and be a fair man?
It's tough.
Yeah, the world asks these questions daily.
And we go backstage to see Chyna talking to a friend, with Cole saying it's the same girlfriend they saw on Heat, as we go to break. And we come back to our second match. Sexual Chocolate, Mark Henry versus Goldust.
The golden one.
The story behind this match was that Henry was living up to his nickname, as PMS took him backstage, turning Mark into a human sundae with chocolate, whipped cream, whips and chains, causing Sexual Chocolate to miss a tag match. When Henry realized his mistake, he begged Chyna for forgiveness, with her being strangely okay with the situation, even coming out to threaten Terry and Jackie, telling them to stay away from her man on the previous week's Raw.
He's Sexual Chocolate. She can't blame other people for
wanting him.
And she really can't blame him for being oversexed, as it's part of his name.
Yep. So Mark shoves the Golden One around before they trade strikes, when Goldust catches a charging Henry to nail a spine buster for a 2 count. And Mark answers back with a power slam and an elbow drop, only for the Golden One to fight back. But Henry slows his momentum with a gorilla press and a leg drop, as Chyna and her friend come out to the ring. Mark is distracted, allowing Goldust to hit a reverse slam, setting his opponent up in the corner to deliver Shattered Dreams, causing the ref to call for the bell and the disqualification.
Have we ever got a DQ from a Shattered Dreams before?
I think this is the first one.
Does he normally do it behind the ref's back?
No, I think it's literally in front of him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, what? I know you're not supposed to kick people in the balls, but like it's kind of his move.
All right. Post-match, Henry is checked on by Chyna, with her kissing him on the cheek, saying she hopes the Golden One didn't hurt him too badly, before wanting to make a confession. The other night was incredible, but she's afraid she isn't enough woman for Mark. Chyna then introduces her friend, Sammy, with her remembering that Henry likes tall, exotic dancers. So she has a proposition for him, thinking that the two of them can help Mark take a load off his mind. And Henry faints at this idea, so the ladies pick him up, while Cole has no clue what Chyna just offered.
I'm sure Jerry Lawler does.
Oh, Jerry definitely knew. We then get footage of Jesse Ventura's inauguration to governor of Minnesota.
Kind of crazy, considering he got fired all those years ago. You would think Vince wouldn't do this. I guess maybe he's doing it just because Hulk Hogan is pretending to, or attempting to get into politics now. So just to stick it to him.
Maybe.
But, I mean, Hulk's probably not watching this or probably cares.
We see Arnold Schwarzenegger give Jesse a hug, followed by Ventura giving a speech about how they shocked the world as we go to commercial. And we come back to Dennis Knight chained up in a dungeon.
Creepy.
He's whimpering and calling for help, with our announcers wondering where he is. Some backstory here, just for clarification. Knight was beat up by the Acolytes and put in the trunk of a car in the previous week's Raw.
And we've only seen the Acolytes once so far, right? But we haven't watched a whole lot of Raw. A couple times, but they've kind of just been elusive.
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't really, come into they haven't presented them as, they've kind of presented them mysteriously so far that we've seen from what I remember.
I mean, they were with Cyrus.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And just being, beating people up. But
yeah.
This is a slightly different take on the Acolytes. I'm sure we'll find out more about them soon enough.
I remember a little bit.
So we go to our third match. The Godfather with Hose versus Test.
Still crazy. I don't remember Test being this early, but I mean, it checks out. It's here.
So we're sent to footage from last week's Raw where the corporation beat down the pimp in the back so that Kane could take his place in a match with Billy Gunn. Or, they could have just made that actual match since
they control the show
the corporation.
To an extent. I mean, I guess, but yeah, Shawn Michaels was gone for a week.
But the corporation's Vince.
Yeah.
Vince could literally just make the match.
Yeah. So then what is Shawn?
He's the commissioner. He can make matches too.
Yeah. He's the boss. We all know he's the boss.
The Godfather takes the mic to ask the crowd if they like what they see. And if they do, make sure you yell out, "Pimpin' ain't easy."
It's so funny because he does dressed up meets the pimp look or whatever, but knowing him outside of that, just as a guy that likes to smoke too much weed, it's just kind of funny. On the show, though, I know those guys loved strip clubs. What was their crew called?
Something Bones.
Yeah, Bone Collectors or something. Basically all the guys that were friends with the Undertaker.
Yeah. Test thing comes out, and remembering that he was Motley Crue's bodyguard, what is this theme music he comes out to?
Yeah.
It was something with a harmonica?
It's shouldn't he just have pretty simple hair metal riff thing?
Just do a riff on a Motley Crue song.
Yeah. Maybe not Smoking in the Boys' Room, but maybe one a little bit more energetic, less jovial.
But I actually did look up. This is the only week he has that music.
Oh, okay. That's funny.
But I was
they knew it was a problem. This was
as soon as it came out, it was just what? That doesn't work. We also see footage of Test taking out Val Venus during a match before seeing Val attack the former bodyguard later in the evening from last week.
Test is getting himself right in that lower mid-card.
So our two competitors exchange blows when Test takes control with knees and turnbuckle smashes, only to telegraph his move, leading to the pimp hitting a clothesline, a body slam, leg drop, and a Ho Train. Venus then appears on the ramp when Test recovers to nail a big boot, sending Godfather outside to regroup. But the former bodyguard gives chase for the two to brawl around ringside, using the railing, the apron, and the steps, when Test would reverse a whip to send the pimp into the ring post, causing the ref to call for the double DQ.
Thanks for coming.
Double count out's probably more what it was, but because they just fought on the
Either way, nobody won.
Exactly. Post-match, Val comes down to brawl with Tess now as well, trading blows until refs separate them, only for Venus to break free to charge again when the officials finally get the fight broken up.
So, we've got an idea where they're already going for the next pay-per-view from these first couple matches. As any good wrestling show does.
Exactly.
Looking at you, WCW, where you just throw it together. Putting Norman Smiley all over pay-per-views. And I like Norman Smiley as a wrestler. You haven't been really telling much of a compelling story with him.
We go backstage to Shawn Michaels and DX laughing as we go to break. But we come back to our fourth match. Triple H with Chyna versus Mankind for entry into the Royal Rumble with Shane McMahon as the special guest referee.
We got our star of the evening working 2 matches in one night.
And Shane assures our announcers he will remain impartial.
Sure he will.
But Cole doesn't believe him, followed by McMahon giving Foley a sly smile.
But they also the corporation doesn't like DX or Mankind at this point.
That's right. And our competitors trade arm ringers and arm bars to begin when Mankind lands a facebuster and grabs a headlock, only for Hunter to elbow free and nail a clothesline. Foley pulls Triple H to the floor before delivering a baseball slide to send Hunter into the barricade. And Mankind keeps Triple H from re-entering the ring with a forearm at first, but a shoulder block from Hunter allows him to go for a sunset flip, only for Foley to hold onto the ropes, when Shane kicks his hands, leading to Triple H rolling him up for the pin and the win, as McMahon delivers the fastest 3 count in the West.
Yeah. So you got to lift it up, man.
Post-match, Hunter takes the mic to tell Mankind it's nothing personal. It was all business. And he will do anything for the WWF Championship. But he does have a New Year's gift for Foley. Triple H then pedigrees Shane and yells, "He's all yours," before Mankind says he will show McMahon a move Jim McGonigal taught him at Ward Melville. "I'm gonna break your fucking shoulder," putting Shane in a submission hold.
Love to see it.
McMahon starts screaming as Vince and the Stooges arrive, begging Foley to stop, which he agrees to do if he gets his title shot tonight.
You don't want to make a nice guy angry. They get really, really angry.
Mr. McMahon agrees and tells to release Shane, but Mankind also wants it to be no DQ, with Vince agreeing, so Foley lets the younger McMahon go. Rock then comes out to confront McMahon, asking why he caved, with Vince just saying, "That's my son, damn it!" as we go to commercial.
Everybody's mad at the corporation. You don't want to piss off your champion.
We come back to the WWF Slam of the week, where we see X-Pac hitting several roundhouse kicks and a Bronco Buster to Big Boss Man, only for him to receive a big boot later in the match. And we also get a recap of the match and the aftermath of the match we just saw.
Yeah. This was a pretty weak Slam of the week, just saying.
Yeah.
It was like, all right. Yeah, normally it's like one big move, and it was like, okay, X-Pac does a Bronco Buster, and I thought that was going to be it, and then it's just Big Boss Man coming back with a big boot afterwards. Like, all right, you guys didn't have anything better?
Guess not.
We didn't miss much last week.
Probably why we didn't watch the show.
Yeah.
So we go to our fifth match, Edge versus D'Lo Brown. And we see footage from last week where D'Lo called PMS glorified ring rats.
Low blow.
Telling them to recognize. And they're lucky he's such a gentleman.
Gentleman that basically calls women the wrestling term for slut.
And we get headlocks, shoulder blocks, drop kicks, and leapfrogs traded to start. When D'Lo blocks a hip toss, only for the Brood member to counter into a Hurricanrana.
Got a couple of workers in the ring.
Brown is clotheslined to the outside, with Edge flying over the ropes with a plancha, but D'Lo fights back to land a hot shot onto the barricade, taking his opponent back inside, where he delivers a leg drop, a running powerbomb, and a body slam, before Edge avoids a second rope elbow drop, answering back with a leg lariat, a reverse slam, and a top rope crossbody for a 2 count. And PMS makes their way out to ringside as the Brood member climbs to the top again, only for D'Lo to catch his opponent in mid-air for a sky high. And Brown sees the ladies and tells them to go to the back, when Terry trips and falls off the ring steps, clutching at her stomach, which freaks out D'Lo.
I mean, I'd be pretty afraid too if I essentially tripped a pregnant woman.
Jackie starts yelling at Brown, calling for help, when paramedics arrive to load Terry onto a stretcher, as Cole reminds everyone that she is pregnant, while Lawler says the father is a controversial matter as we go to commercial.
You think he was insinuating himself? As there's been plenty of Lawler controversy in the past.
He would probably be in the top 5 on my list of
controversial
of people who possibly could be the father. The match was declared a no contest. We then come back from the commercial to the group backstage, where the doctor's using his stethoscope to listen to Terry's stomach.
Uncomfortable.
But he can't tell her anything, not being sure if the baby is okay, while D'Lo is distraught in the background.
Can't blame him.
We then get Kane, still with the Brisco brothers sign on his back, Shane, and the Stooges making their way to the ring, with McMahon taking the mic to announce a special event, being our 6th match, Kane versus the Stooges of Pat Patterson and Gerald Brisco in a handicap match.
What would a good tag team for them be for them? I guess just the Body Shop Boys.
Yeah, or the Stooges.
Yeah, the Stooges, obviously. If they were like an official tag team, you wouldn't want a name that is making fun of you.
The Oklahoma Drag Show.
Sure.
So the story behind this match was that Mr. McMahon gave the Big Red Machine a choice after being taken to the asylum. He could do the corporation's bidding or be institutionalized again.
All he wanted was a Pepsi.
The Stooges would mock and humiliate Kane any chance they could, sending him to get coffee, having him attack DX on different occasions, with the Big Red Machine's patience for the Stooges growing thin. And as the Stooges are pleading with Shane, he tells them this is payback, when Vince comes out to the rampway to remind Patterson and Brisco that he said that everyone who was remotely responsible for his son's emotional scarring had to pay.
Scorched earth.
Kane, make them pay. And Pat tries to bribe the Big Red Machine with a cigarette and a condom.
2 things I can't imagine Kane would want anything to do with.
Only for Kane to swat them away. So Gerald nails a forearm to the back of his opponent, but the Big Red Machine no-sells and punches Patterson out of the ring before chokeslamming Brisco. And Pat returns with a chair in hand, only to set it down when Kane spots him. So the Big Red Machine punts the weapon and choke slams Patterson. And Kane continues by pulling Gerald balls first into the ring post. But then the Big Red Machine grabs Shane, only for Mr. McMahon to tell him no. You'll return to the asylum if you hurt my son. So Kane lets him go, with Vince declaring the Big Red Machine the winner of the match. Post-match, Shane admonishes the Stooges for not taking care of him, telling them to return to their body shop, before walking up the ramp with Kane, hugging his dad, while in the ring, the Stooges argue with each other as we go to break.
I guess it's like, when I watched this younger, it was always like, damn, chokeslamming these old guys. And now I'm like, oh, they're probably like 55.
Yeah,
it's
they
like,
look much older than they actually are.
Yeah, people didn't age as well back then.
Yeah.
But, yeah, because now there's like wrestlers that are 55 and look better than them and can still like put on a match. But, yeah, it's not like when Mae West gets thrown around in the next couple of years on television where you're just like, oh, no, that's not okay.
Yeah.
That's way worse than this.
So we come back to Dennis Knight in the dungeon, where the acolytes enter to unchain him, saying it's time. He's ready for him. And they lead him out of the room.
Spooky, scary.
And we go to our 7th match. Al Snow with Ed versus Road Dogg Jesse James for the WWF Hardcore Championship.
Oh, the world.
And the story behind this match was that Shane had booked Road Dogg and Boss Man in a match. So James goaded the champ into putting his title on the line. Mankind would interfere, helping Road Dogg become the new champ. Meanwhile, Snow had defeated Gangrel, so the Brood gave him a bloodbath in retaliation, which broke Al as he continues to wear his bloody shirt.
This is the carry angle.
And Snow comes out and he places head on the stage before hiding behind a curtain, followed by James arriving to do his stick when he notices the prop, allowing Al to jump him from behind. And they brawl on the stage, down the ramp and around ringside, with Snow being ran into the ring steps and giving Road Dogg time to pull out some tables, chairs, and cookie sheets from underneath. Is there an oven underneath there?
I mean, yeah, the cookie sheets are so funny. It's like chairs, table, ladder. We can kind of understand. I mean, I don't know why there would be 8 of them underneath any ring, but the cookie sheet. What are we doing? What are we doing? I believe a stop sign before a cookie sheet.
Al recovers and leaps off the apron with a double axe handle, only for James to toss the chair into his face before returning to setting up the table. And Snow grabs the steel to jab into Road Dogg, followed by hitting an air sabu onto his opponent,
Thief.
knocking James over the barricade. And Al finally gets the table set up before whacking Road Dogg with the chair again, setting him on the apparatus and leaping off the barricade with a moonsault. But James moves, causing Snow to crash through the table, with Road Dogg making a cover for a 2 count.
Yeah, I mean, I can't ever see Road Dogg being like, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take a moonsault through a table. Doesn't seem like he's that kind of guy.
Al's knocked down again with 3 shots from a cookie sheet, followed by the 2 brawling their way to the side of the stage, where Road Dogg sets a table against a barricade to hip toss his opponent through, followed by leaping off a ladder with a double axe handle. And they continue to brawl, making their way to the backstage, where Snow continues the punishment by using dollies, walls, choking with a water hose in a janitor's closet, toilet paper.
I don't understand why toilet paper.
A broom, boxes, carts, potted plants, steel poles.
Sounds like somebody went to Home Depot earlier that day.
When James reverses a whip to send Al into beer kegs and an equipment case.
See, now those things are much more believably backstage. Dolly, I get. Potted plants. Come on.
Yeah, it's funny.
No, it's funny. I'm having fun here too.
Road Dogg keeps up the attack by sending Snow into steel railings, using a fire extinguisher that knocks Al out some doors that lead to the outside of the building, where they continue to fight in the snow.
Oh my gosh.
And a snow shovel is used to knock Snow into a rolling cart, which James uses to push his opponent into a garage door, before Al fights back with a traffic cone, only for Road Dogg to deliver a pile driver onto a pallet for the pin and the win. Post-match, James makes his way back into the arena and to the stage area to collect his belt and to celebrate with the fans.
Yeah, I mean, this was good stuff. It's fun, energetic. Even Jerry Lawler gave props to Al Snow.
And we go somewhere to see the acolytes leading Dennis Knight to a mysterious room.
Ooh.
And they just shove him inside as a bright white light pours out the open door, hearing people screaming as the acolytes close the door.
I like the idea that they show up to the arena and then whoever these spooky cultists are, like, just set up their torture room.
And something was cut off from our tape here.
Okay.
We see DX and the Heartbreak Kid head to the back of the building, as Sean is off to fetch his surprise, with Triple H handing him the keys to his rental car. Michaels says, "See you later," only for Hunter to respond with, "Maybe, maybe not," after the Heartbreak Kid walks out the door. Shawn then goes to unlock the car, but he has the wrong keys. So he attempts to get back in the building, but those doors are locked as well, causing Michaels to bang on the door when someone yells Shawn's name as we go to commercial.
Did he just get sold out by his own crew?
And we come back, as does our tape at this point, to see a bloody Shawn laying on the hood of a car with a hole in the windshield.
Yeah, I was confused by this, and you cleared it up for me, because I was like, wait, why would they not show how this happened?
And we actually do get footage of what happened. Big Boss Man and others attacked Michaels, knocking over the camera as Vince tells the corporation to get him.
Get him.
And we're back live, and the paramedics are loading the Heartbreak Kid onto a stretcher as he groans in pain, while our announcers believe the corporation went too far. We then go to our 8th match. Mankind with DX versus The Rock with the corporation for the WWF Championship.
In a no disqualification match.
That's right.
Makes sense why DX is backing up Mick Foley, as they've got plenty of beef with the corporation as well.
Absolutely. And Rocky immediately knocks Foley out of the ring, where the corporation looks to get involved. But The Rock stops them to keep up the attack himself, looking to ram his head into an announce table, but Mankind blocks and reverses. And they continue to brawl around ringside when Rocky reverses a whip to send Foley into the ring steps, before using them as a weapon to the back of his opponent.
Rocky sucks.
The Rock nails a snap suplex on the floor, followed by taking Cole's headset to say he's taken Mankind to the SmackDown Hotel, allowing Foley to recover, jumping over the announce table to attack, and taking the headset himself to say he's showing some testicular fortitude. Rocky then grabs the ring bell to whack Mankind over the head, before putting Foley through a table with a rock bottom.
Damn.
Now back inside, Rocky with chokes on the ropes, and the corporations get some shots in as well, followed by a side Russian leg sweep and turnbuckle smashes, only to charge into a back elbow. But The Rock stops the momentum with a corporate elbow for a 2 count. Mankind rallies with a swinging neckbreaker when Rocky telegraphs his move, only for Boss Man to trip up Foley when he goes to run the ropes, as someone tosses the title into the ring to The Rock, using it to clock Mankind for the pin, and Foley kicks out.
I love when everybody's cheering for Mick Foley over The Rock. Not that The Rock's not getting cheered, but he's part of the corporation, no matter how much people like him.
Rocky tries for another belt shot, but Mankind ducks and delivers a double-arm DDT onto the gold for the pin, and The Rock kicks out. Foley then locks on the Sacco Claw, so Shamrock jumps in the ring with a chair to whack Mankind across the back.
Come on, Ken.
Bringing Gunn in to tackle Ken out to the floor, leading to everyone brawling on the outside. When the glass breaks, the middle fingers go up, and Stone Cold Steve Austin arrives.
And of course, the crowd erupts.
He jumps in the ring and whacks The Rock with the chair, pulling Foley on top of him for the pin and the win. And
It's beautiful.
Post-match, Austin flips off Vince, throwing his hat at him, while Cole yells, "Mankind did it," with the King correcting that Stone Cold did it.
He did, but Mick Foley was there. He was just getting screwed. Hoisted by his own petard of a no DQ match.
DX lifts Foley onto their shoulders inside the ring as he celebrates with the belt. As Michael Cole says that Mankind has achieved his dream, despite all the people who told him he couldn't do it. Mr. McMahon is whining, "Not him. Anybody but him. Followed by Road Dogg doing his usual spiel to introduce the new champion. Before Foley takes the mic to say, "It may not sound cool, but he dedicates the win to his kids at home.
And that's why we love him.
Big Daddio did it!" While Vince claims this makes him want to puke. Mankind then does a victory lap around the ring as we fade to black.
Beautiful stuff.
So I ask you, Michael, what are your overall thoughts of WWF Monday Night Raw from January 4th, 1999?
There's a lot of stories going on in this show, but there's only one that's particularly memorable, as the rest of them kind of are. We're starting. It's the beginning of the year. We're moving in. We got a little ways before the next pay-per-view, so we're getting things set up early, and conveniently, they kind of, the majority of them, coalesce in the last match, which also kind of keeps everybody safe. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that it was all done intelligently. Mick didn't necessarily look weak of having Stone Cold help him, because he was essentially about to win after both guys were kicking out of each other's signature moves and stuff. But it gives The Rock, obviously, now has a chance to become a full face. And we have a transitional champion. It's just super intelligently done. You give, and like, if you put this on Triple H or somebody like that as a transitional champion, it doesn't really help anybody. And this is a true feel-good moment for one of, basically, your like Cal Ripken Jr. of your company. Yeah. It's like he always shows up and he always puts in the work, and nobody has a bad thing to say about him. He's kind of just the most respected guy by fans, whether they're kids that think it's real or they're long-term wrestling fans or even casual watchers. Like, my dad didn't give a shit about wrestling, but he recognized why Mankind was cool when I was watching it, because he's innately likable. If you see him more than twice, you just kind of know the guy's heart without him. No matter what character he's playing, you just kind of know that, like, oh, this is a good guy, because that's what he exudes. But he's just a legend and loved. And you could, like, if you wanted to be cynical, you could complain about how he won, but he is just not the kind of guy that looks like a WWF champion. And it's kind of amazing that Vince would even do this at all. Yeah. In the past, he would have never done this. Yeah. But it's a testament to the era, but mostly just to the guy. And they did it, I think, about as good and as exciting and fun as you could on a episode of Monday Night Raw. So fuck you, Tony Schiavone.
I completely agree with you. It's one of the most memorable Raws ever. It combines excellent story work with some really fun matches in places. Yeah. I mean, obviously some are completely storyline matches.
Most of them are. But they're not, none of it's boring. Nothing goes on too long, that's for sure.
I mean, definitely the last two matches for certain are very good. The hardcore match. Yeah. And the main event.
And those are kind of, like, everything else was more storytelling, but you're into the show with two good matches is more than we can, like, that's not what we expect from a Monday Night Wrestling show at this point. It's like, oh, we got two really good matches in a show that neither were, like, rushed. And they both, like, made sense. They weren't just like a cruiser match that was good because these guys are good wrestlers and the stories don't really matter. It's like, oh, the stories matter here, and the matches were good. And you have a extremely rare thing in a heavyweight title changing hands on television, and then an extra rare thing as it being a guy that never would have happened for him if he was working in 1992 in the WWF. It never would have happened for him if he was working in 1987. Like, he would have just, he probably wouldn't have been hired back back in the 80s by Vince. It took him a while to get there in the first place.
Yeah.
And this changing of eras, thank God for the steroid lawsuit. Because without it, Mick Foley never would have stood a chance here.
Good. Where's the smart marks at? All right, fuck you.
I think it's time we smark it up. So what are some of the best moments of this show?
It's the... I really loved the hardcore match, but it's all Mick Foley all the time. He killed it with all of his promos throughout the show. He never spoke for too long, but everything he said mattered. He was intense when he needed to be intense, and he was...
First time I've ever grabbed another man's testicles.
Yeah, very funny. At the end, when he gets the belt, before he shouts out his kids, he says, "Hey, Vinny, I got to tell you, this feels pretty damn good," which is just great. And then he goes on to, not only say, this is, shouts out his kids or whatever, but does the least cool thing possible by referring to himself as Daddio, which is probably, what he does at home with his kids, which makes it extra, charming. Because it wasn't like, oh, your dad or your father. It's like, oh, no, this is just, Not very many wrestlers probably are... Most wrestlers, I would say, especially from, up into this point and beyond, are pretty... they want to come off as cool, whether it's the cool heel or the cool, you don't want to look like a fool, but Mick Foley doesn't care about that at all, which is another reason why he's so loved, and nobody on the planet is mad about this, except for biggest dickheads on the planet, Eric Bischoff, a true fool who's never understood wrestling.
Yeah. Dennis Knight acolyte stuff.
Intriguing.
I never... I mean, I know where it's going.
Yeah, I have
obviously,
a good idea.
But it was still fun to kind of see these little spots where it helps Dennis Knight because you're kind of like, what's going on with him?
Yeah.
What's going on with the acolytes? You're intrigued.
Yeah, it's also fun to see because this has happened a lot on this show, especially throughout the last handful of years in WWF, where we're like, oh, we remember where this goes, but we don't always remember the details that lead up to it. There, yeah. And the WWF is typically, or at least, I don't know if they are now. They haven't been in the recent past, but that's always what they have been good at, is doling out parts of a story slowly, and so that when they do hit, if people care about them, immediately, and if they don't, immediately.
Yeah.
Or you can just kind of phase that thing out because you don't go big at all one time, so you can pivot or decide this isn't working, but you don't just start an angle out of full bore. And the acolyte one is fun, and we've got a lot of that's been going on, kind of just weaving into this tapestry, and anything's. It's nice to see Dennis Knight doing something different.
Last one for me is Mr. McMahon. All of his reactions to things.
Yeah.
When Mankind has Shane in the submission hold, and he's like, "That's my son, damn it." He's
kind of just the best at that. Yeah. He's better than anybody ever at that. And it's one thing where they're like, all right, you got to play to the back row, which you don't technically have to do in this era of television and the higher production and the Jumbotron and all that stuff, the Titantron. But he does it, but never quite he rarely overdoes it. So it's just enough. It just teeters on the edge of too much, but it never quite gets there. So when it needs to be funny, it's funny. When you need to be excited about his suffering, you're excited about his suffering.
Exactly.
He is just a true magician. It's the kid that always wanted to be the wrestler, and turns out, if he never made it in the ring, he would have made it on the mic. So sometimes that's all you need.
Yes. How about most disappointing? I mean, it's the PMS stuff.
Yeah, just because we're like,
it's just it's a bad storyline.
Yeah, it's a bad storyline, but you're doing like a miscarriage thing, which is just gross and in bad taste. Yeah. And
I mean, that's what I mean by it.
Bad story. Yeah. But it is also, it's just like, well, this is the era that we're in, and this is the thing we all remember. It's just that as like a 10-year-old kid or whatever, like, you don't have quite the empathy or understanding of like delicate situations like that. But it's also not the thing that you remember either. It's just the shock value of it all. It's the sleaze that people think that they still want, but what they really want is the good stuff. Like they want Mick Foley's and Rocks and D-Generation X's. They want the personalities more than they want the sleaze. You can get a little sleazy, and we'll get much more sleazy on this show.
I mean, also speaking of sleazy, I don't know. Do you know about Sammy?
I don't. I can't even remember what she looks like now. I watched the show like a week or so ago. Also, like I said, the quality was really bad. But I don't know. I don't think I know who Sammy is. You can spoil it.
To be honest, I don't know if we see the conclusion of that storyline or not. So I'm just going to kind of spoil it here.
Go ahead.
Sammy is a transvestite.
Oh, maybe I noticed that. I don't remember.
So, obviously, I mean...
Yeah.
Back then, everyone was like, transvestite, blah.
Yeah.
Like, but it's very like, that's not a cool storyline.
No.
In 2025 to be watching, so.
Yeah. So, that makes sense, and yeah, I get it. But I don't even know if I clocked that in the show. I was like, who's this with Chyna?
They didn't say it, and you couldn't get a real good look at Sammy on the show.
Yeah.
So
did she look like Nicole Bass?
No.
Okay. Because Nicole Bass, I was like, people would say the same thing about Chyna all the time. So I don't know if this lady.
I mean, I
had the Nicole Bass or Chyna job.
I do believe it was a man dressed
as a woman. Yeah.
As a woman, and
yeah, you don't know. Yeah, we'll see if they continue it or whatever. But yeah, it's like obviously you know where the joke's going, and it's not very nice.
Right.
We can all agree to that.
Best performer of the night. I mean, it's Mick Foley.
Yeah. Give him his...
He had several good promos, plus he had 2 good matches, and he won the belt.
Yeah. And he did it in, like, fantastic fashion.
Yeah.
Still kind of wish he would have been able to pin The Rock, but I get it, and it's so smart because this perfectly gives The Rock a chance to become a face.
I mean, to be honest, whenever he was like, I wanted the match to be no DQ, I was just like, but didn't that just play right in? Like, a face asking for a match to be no DQ always seems ass backwards.
Back asswards.
Yeah. Because I'm just like, but that means the heels are going to cheat, obviously.
Yeah, the only logic is that he's the hardcore guy.
But when he asked for that, I had totally forgotten about the Stone Cold surprise.
Yeah, I didn't remember how he won because it'd been so long. I just remember the winning. But the Austin thing makes sense too.
It's the biggest pop we've ever heard.
Yeah, and we have to keep The Rock strong because he's about to become... He's on the precipice of being the biggest guy in the company.
Yeah. How about most surprising?
I guess it was the Stone Cold of it all.
Test's horrible music.
Yeah.
Like, literally, I literally spent like 5 minutes like researching his music because I was just like,
what is this?
You can't tell me that this is Test's music. I was just like, I remember Test's music being actually like
fitting
for definite, sure. But like, I was like, is it just because this is a video that like maybe someone put different music in or something? I was just like, this is not Test music.
It makes sense though, because this has happened a few times where we'll get a song and it's just like, oh, they realized that didn't work. Yeah. One of the surprises for me, because it was kind of cut out of the video I watched, was Shawn Michaels showing up bloody, where I was like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
Because I didn't catch him going. I saw him get beat up because they like, you know, back up and show that, but I didn't see him like leaving or like Hunter saying something like
Hunter
fishy.
Thing, so like the Hunter thing, and I like saw that, and I was just, or you know, read about it, to give us some context, and I was just like, when does that all happen? Like,
is Sean about to go away for a while again?
I think that's the reason why they did this angle, is because I think he does go away for a little while to have surgery or something.
Yeah, because I remember again, like later, this might be before he comes back and he's in the wheelchair, right?
Maybe.
There's a time where he comes back and he's been gone for a while, but he's in a wheelchair, but like Triple H is much more over at that point. I remember because I was watching it this time as well, but I remember not really knowing who Shawn Michaels was when he came back in a wheelchair. My cousin like explaining it all to me, like, or maybe it was even before that. I just remember having it to be explained to me at one point because I was like, I just started watching. I jumped on this when it got cool. I'm a poser.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Turn the lights down. Turn the projector on. We're ready to rumble. This week, the movie is Registered Nurse.
Sounds sexy.
You don't even know.
Did you watch a nudie movie?
This movie was released April 7th, 1934 by Warner Brothers, directed by Robert Florey, written by Peter Milne and Lily Hayward, starring Baby Daniels, Lyle Talbot, and John Halliday. The plot of this film was two doctors pursue a nurse with a secret. She's married to an insane man. Will she allow one of them to operate on her husband to save his sanity?
So they're both barking up her tree, but she just wants her husband to not be a crazy person?
Pretty much.
This is some schlock.
Yeah.
Sounds potentially fun.
Some interesting things. This movie is actually preserved at the Library of Congress, and it was the final role for Daniels at Warner Brothers.
Was she a big star? I guess she was contracted to Warner Brothers because that's how everybody did stuff back
then. I would say this is a B movie, so I wouldn't say she was a top of the line star at this point.
But she was a sexy movie lady, I imagine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of the reviews and ratings that I found on this, IMDb has it at 5.8, Letterboxd at a 2.6.
Ooh, how many people watched it on Letterboxd?
I'm not real sure.
Probably not a lot, but yeah.
I found a review in Variety from Chic, and this is from 1934. It's a well-devised atmosphere, but only about half of it applies to the plot. A clumsy, dramatic device, and Baby Daniels gives all she has.
This is maybe the only other Bebe I've heard of that is not Bebe's kids, but a human. And the other one being
Newworth.
From Cheers and a little bit on Frasier.
My review, this is a weird movie.
Sounds like it.
You have our main character with her secret, which the viewer has no clue is even a secret until halfway through the film. You have the two doctors who openly talk about how far they have gotten with our main character on different occasions.
Ooh.
You then have the husband show up with 10 minutes left to have surgery to cure his insanity.
Which is just a lobotomy in 34.
Correct.
Also, so you don't see him at all until the last 10 minutes.
There's a car wreck at the very beginning.
Oh, that's our foreshadowing. But you forget about it by the time you get there.
I thought he was dead.
Yeah, one would assume.
She never brings him up at all.
Yeah, sounds like a pretty sloppy movie.
Another patient then ends up telling the husband in passing, which leaving it ambivalent whether he knew who if that was the husband or not. They don't really. That his wife loves one of the doctors, and that they should jump out a window, which the husband does.
So just another patient is like, your wife's fucking one of the doctors. You should probably just jump out a window.
Well, he's basically talking about a nurse that loves one of the doctors.
So he overhears the conversation.
I mean, he's talking to
him, okay.
to the husband, but they leave it.
They don't say any names.
They don't say that the patient that's talking knows that guy's the husband.
Yeah.
Or if he's just gossip, gossip mill, that kind of thing. Also, our main character has multiple scenes with one doctor, kissing and talking about marriage, but then decides to marry the other doctor who she only shared one scene in talking about marriage. Like I said, weird movie.
Shot in 3 days.
The wrestler of this film is Thorn Johnson.
Does he play the husband?
No, he plays a wrestler.
Wow.
Coming to see the promoter, the patient who spilled the beans, he's a wrestling promoter.
What the fuck?
And these two wrestlers show up at the hospital to talk to the promoter because they're like, I should win.
Yeah.
And for comedy, they fight in the hospital over who's supposed to win the big match.
All right.
I gave this movie
1.5.
a 3.5.
Oh wow! Just because so it's fun.
It's so crazy
that it's fun.
Because
some movies are so poorly made and crazy that they're not even fun to try to follow.
Exactly.
But this one was fun.
This was fun.
It sounds wacky.
The wrestler performance, I gave him a 4.0 because he was funny.
Yeah.
While being a wrestler, basically.
Also, Thorn Johnson looks so crazy that he's kind of just gonna be entertaining no matter what. If he's bad, it's funny. If he's good, it's entertaining because he's got a face.
But if you care to watch that movie, it is out there on YouTube because it's in the public domain.
Yeah, it's probably all of 80 minutes.
I don't even think it's that long.
Yeah, this is back when they used to play 2 movies in a theater, and the second one was called the B movie because it played after the better movie, and you could just stay there all damn day.
Next week, Guilty as Charged, 1999.
I feel like it's been a while since we ECW'd.
It's been a little bit. I think November to Remember might be our last visit. So
yeah, we've done a lot of. We did this Raw Nitro business. So yeah.
Music from this week's show is "Thorn in Your Eyes" by Jim Johnston, and Mankind won our main event. So we play "Schizophrenic Version 2" by Jim Johnston. And if you like this episode or any of our other ones, please go out there, rate and review us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you find your podcasts at. Do as Michael says.
5 stars or no stars. Do it for Mick Foley. He won the big one. He doesn't get to do that a lot.
He'll give you a knuckle sandwich if you don't.
Yeah, I'll ship you my half of my knuckle sandwich.
And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, recipes, we're going to Kissimmee, Florida.
Yeah, this one... Who named this place?
Someone that needed some loving.
Yeah, someone that needed a kiss.
But you can email us at WrestlingHistoryX@gmail.com or find us on X at WrestlingHistoX. That's Wrestling HISTOX. We'll talk to you next week.
Laters.